The White House briefing room has become a joke. I saw on another social media platform today, Tim Pool, the extreme MAGA conspiracy theorist, social media influencer, got to ask the first question, and he spat off all these frigging lies and disinformation, and one of them was about Abrego Garcia, the Maryland father, who was illegally sent to El Salvador to CCOT. The Trump administration and their goofy social media influencers online are trying to spin the narrative that he's an MS-13 member, he has gang tattoos, the other individuals that are in the United States were sent to an El Salvadoran prison because they're criminals and terrorists and things like that. The big problem with all of that is that we live in a nation of laws. And in the United States, if you are here, you are entitled to due process of law. You have due process rights, which means you must be presented with the evidence that has been gathered against you. You must be given a chance to have an attorney, legal representation. You must be given the chance to go before a judge. And you must be given the chance to be judged by a jury of your peers and to go through the criminal justice system. What Trump and his ilk are doing is instituting the Alien Enemies Act, which is a joke, to do a runaround on all those rights. And then they try to ship people out as quickly as possible before the courts have time to take action. What is fantastic over the weekend or last night or the night before is the Supreme Court took an emergency action in the middle of the night to pause the Trump's trying to send a whole new group of individuals to CCOT, to El Salvador. It was a 7-2 Supreme Court ruling. And they even put out the judgment before Sam Alito had a chance to provide his ridiculous dissent, which, again, Sam Alito is a huge MAGA. Normally, I don't like to call Supreme Court justices out on their politics, but he and Clarence Thomas have proven again and again how far extreme right they have gone. You had 3 Supreme Court justices who were appointed by Donald Trump that voted in favor of stopping the emergency order to stop these individuals from being sent to El Salvador. So the courts are working so far. Trump has lost the majority of his cases in the courts. But again, the Trump administration, the important part is they're trying to spin this as these people are terrorists and criminals and stuff. Fine. If the government says that you committed a crime in the United States, you have due process rights under the law, under the Constitution. And like I said earlier, there are multiple rights: right to an attorney, right to be presented with the evidence against you, right to be heard by a judge, a jury of your peers. And again, authoritarian 101, Trump is doing a runaround and violating the Constitution. And it's almost certain that the Supreme Court, 7-2, answered that emergency, made that emergency declaration order to halt the Trump administration because they no longer trust the Trump administration. It's been shown that the Trump administration is completely ignoring the Supreme Court's last ruling to bring Abrego Garcia back. They see the Trump administration ignoring the district court, saying, show proof that you are bringing Abrego Garcia back. So instead of waiting until the next day with the risk of Trump sending those individuals to El Salvador in the dark of night, they came back and said, don't do it, and ordered him stopped. So we will see what happens. But again, these social media influencers, they're all ridiculous. MAGA is just insane. I guarantee you if Tim Pool or any of these other jokers are engage in criminal activity or accused of engaging in criminal activity, they would be begging for a lawyer. They'd be begging to get, see the evidence against them. They'd be begging to be brought before a judge. They would be begging for their due process rights. But when it's other individuals, because Donald Trump has dehumanized these individuals, all bets are off. Who cares about due process? So it's Authoritarian 101.